So, good day, guys. Good day, everyone. So, yesterday I have completed a Python course, and right now I have finished it. So, you can see right now I have finished the Python course, and we are here in analyze data with Python. So I have finished this in March 3. Is it March right now? May 3, May 4, and I just have recently finished this May 5 this day, and I'm planning to finish this right now. I might wanted to start this one. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll be waiting since I have done the review but first I will just have a small recap of what I have learned. Properties of set union. Any set is a subset of its union or others. I miss I. staring into different views on the window ledge. Coffee is done cold, just that time froze. So we are sitting under the coffee. As I wish that I could turn back time to make it all alright for us. I promise to build a new world for us two, with you in the middle. Whoa. What is data analysis?
What is data analysis? Think of data as oil. Just like oil, data is obtained raw. Before it can become valuable, it must be cleaned, organized, and stored in an accessible place. Just like oil, data is obtained raw. Before it can become valuable, it must be cleaned, organized, and stored in an accessible place. Once data is processed, it can fuel and drive a business to the right path. A better understanding of its previous performance, and better decision-making for its future activities. Data analysis is like asking your data for some insight. The question you ask determines the type of analysis you want to do. Let's say a company wants to know what's happening with its business. It would look into its data and analyze it to get a summary of its past and current data. This is descriptive analysis, the simplest and most common use of data. Now, if that company wants to dive deeper and figure out why things happened, this is where diagnostic analysis comes in. Based on the insights or results found from the descriptive analysis, the company investigates the causes of the results. Descriptive and diagnostic analyses are common practices in business. But some companies nowadays would take it a step further by doing predictive analysis. Predictive analysis asks your summarized data what is likely to happen, so you can make logical predictions of the results. Descriptive analysis, the company investigates the causes of the results. Descriptive and diagnostic analyses are common practices in business. But some companies nowadays would take it a step further by doing predictive analysis. Predictive analysis asks your summarized data what is likely to happen, so you can make logical predictions of the results. This type of analysis requires added new technology and manpower. That's why not many companies are doing it. The last type of data analysis is the ultimate form of data analysis, prescriptive analysis. It combines the insights from all the previous analyses. It uses state-of-the-art technology, like artificial intelligence or AI, to help identify the course of action to take in a present problem or decision. Currently, only a few data-driven companies can afford to use prescriptive analysis, but as technology continues to improve, we'll definitely see more companies utilizing this analysis. For this course, we will focus on descriptive analysis and a bit of diagnostic analysis. You'll get to experience the process of descriptive analysis using real data with Python. This course requires an intermediate understanding of Python, so make sure you have taken both the Introduction to Python and Intermediate Python courses. As for our IDE, we will use Jupyter Notebook. We'll also use Pandas, a powerful library for working with data and plotting libraries for visualization. With these tools and skills, you will be prepared to work with real data, make discoveries, and present fascinating results. Let's get started!
Nih, bisa-bisa bututan.
Aku hitam-hitam. Oh, pencet.
Analyzing data. Data analysis is not exactly a walk in the park, but many data analysts manage to get through this challenging task because of data analysis steps. These steps are basically the entire data analysis process broken into segments. Let's walk through these steps so we can use them later on when we try doing the process with real data. First is defining the question. When we frame a business problem to a question, it's easier for us to find a clear answer to it. After we define the problem, it's time to collect the data. Businesses use different strategies for collecting data. They choose the data sources that will most likely solve their business problem. In our case, we won't be doing this process since we've already decided on the data set that we will analyze. Next is cleaning or prepping the data. This is where we scrub, remove duplicates, explore, and structure the data as needed. This involves anything that we need to do to make sure that the data will not compromise our results. In the big data world, this is where data analysts spend most of their time. Next, we have the fun part, analyzing the data. Here is where we use data analysis tools like Python to help interpret and understand the data and arrive at conclusions. Once we have the results, it's time to share them. Through data visualization, we can graphically show our information in a way that people can read and understand it. Aside from the data analysis steps, you need to also have a background on the data types in statistics when analyzing data. Yes, that's right, statistics. So why are we learning about statistics in data analysis? There's a gray area between statistics and data analysis. When you look at how they are defined in the data-driven world, they do somehow appear the same. So it is more likely that we would encounter some elements of statistics when we're analyzing data, like the data types, for instance. Here are some samples of data that are often collected in both statistics and data analysis. Which of these data can you count or measure? These data are examples of quantitative data. They're both numerical and countable. The other two, nationality and intermediate, are qualitative data because they're categorical and non-countable. One is nominal and the other one is ordinal. What's the difference between the two? Nominal data are basically labels. They don't have any quantitative value. Like nationality, for example, which is a label or a name used for your country of origin. While ordinal data, like intermediate, beginner, and advanced, classifies data while introducing an order or ranking. Under quantitative data, we still have two types of data, discrete and continuous. Discrete data can't be divided based on their nature. An example is the number of children someone has, because no one can't have 2.5 children in a family. Continuous, on the other hand, is the opposite. It can be divided up as much as you want and measured to many decimal places. There you have it. In this video, you learned about the data types in statistics that you'll encounter when doing data analysis and the data analysis steps. In the next video, we'll have more about data analysis. up your environment. Setting up a development environment is one of the most important things you must do when working with any programming language. Without a development environment, you won't be able to execute your code and check if it's free. To Python and intermediate Python courses, you've used PyCharm IDE to know another popular IDE for Python users, Jupyter Notebook. There are several ways to install Jupyter Notebook. Includes both Python and Notebook course. Python version. The install dialog. You can command dash and environments to your command prompt and our Jupyter and the libraries that we will use for this course. Don't we will use for this course. Don't forget to type Y to proceed with the installation. Looks like everything is installed successfully. Here, we have a block of Conda messages on how to activate and deactivate our newly created environment. Let's activate our environment. You will be installed in your environment, or you can also type conda list and the name of the package you're checking. Now we're ready to launch Jupyter Notebook. Your Python code that we'll be writing in this course. Let's rename the new first Python 3 tutorial. This is where let's try another one. The good thing about Jupyter Notebooks is that you can type in code right within your browser window, execute that code, and see the results right within the browser. You can see your errors right away. If you're done working on your notebook, you can just simply close your command prompt and disconnect the notebook server, then close your notebook browser. That's about it. In this video, we introduced another IDE, Jupyter Notebook. We learned how to install it using Miniconda and how to create a virtual environment and a Python 3 notebook. In the next video, let's discover more about Jupyter Notebook and learn why it's the #1 IDE for Python users. review of Python concepts, functions, arrays, and lists. In the previous video, we did a simple code to test how the Jupyter Notebook works. Now we'll explore more of its features by reviewing some Python concepts that we'll be using a lot in this course. Let's start. Open your command prompt. Activate the MyENV environment we created in the previous video, and launch Jupyter Notebook. Let's continue working on our Python tutorial notebook in our Data Analysis folder. You will see the code where we left off. Jupyter saves your notebook every 2 minutes. Prompt. Activate the MyENV environment we created in the previous. We left off on our Python tutorial notebook in our
Sige, pag-away mo, pumito ba ng ako?
languages, and the libraries that we will use for this course.
Ay, maglipo ka. Vinyl, vinyl.
A quick review of Python concepts, functions, arrays, and lists. In the previous video, we did a simple code to test how the Jupyter Notebook works. Now we'll explore more of its features by reviewing some Python concepts that we'll be using a lot in this course. Let's start. Open your command prompt. Activate the MyENV environment in our. You can do so with Control F. Let's run the dir. These are the variables that you've defined. There are a bunch of other things that are pre-defined. Now, let's run the dir function to check the variables and methods available in your notebook. Here, you can see x, y, and z. These are the variables that you've defined. There are a bunch of other things that are predefined as well, but you don't need to worry about those right now. Now that you've seen the directory, you can remove that cell to declutter your notebook. Just click on the cell and press D twice. Let's say you don't think Python is easy and you want to delete that cell too. The cell is gone, but if you call variable z, you will still get the output. How did this happen? In Jupyter Notebook, there. Let's clear the cell errors from our notebook and just leave the first code cell. Highlight the unwanted cells by pressing Shift and arrow key, then the D key twice. Restart the kernel too to remove all defined variables. We won't be needing them anymore. Now that we know how code cells behave, let's get to know another cell type in Jupyter, the Markdown Cell. So, you need for Python review your to help quickly understand how this code works. Down and lists. In this, the exciting part about Markdown is you can add some styling in your long description. This description is available in the next resource. You can copy and paste it into your notebook. Let's continue with arrays and lists. Remember the dataset example in Module 1? Here's an array of numbers representing your friend's daily social media usage. All 25 of them. Here's the code that gets the first 5 elements of the array. In this course, you'll be working with both arrays and lists. So let's convert this array into a list. Here's the simple code. descriptions to your code. Here's what it looks like. With these descriptions, you can take note of the important details of your code and review them later.
Anong quantitative? Bugo ka, bugo.
That's it for now. In this video, we learned more about Jupyter Notebook's code cell and Markdown Cell. We reviewed Python functions, arrays, and lists and documented it well using the Markdown cells. Save your notebook and close your environment. In the next module, we'll learn more about data analysis with Python.
Hindi mo nag-i-update yung cellphone.
Tingani. Naong mura sa bulimpyo sa inyo, bro. Imong gitangkang, kuya. charger na ko.
Ano eh?
Muna ni day.
Oh, kadiot sa
Please, agad na abi.
Data handling in Python. Data. We can do that by adding a parameter in the series constructor. Also have two initializes. Now method. Method provide output. Data handling in Python. Data handling in Python. Python is a great language for data analysis. It has a fantastic ecosystem of data-related Python packages, and Pandas is one of them. Pandas is the most popular Python library used for cleaning, exploring, manipulating, and analyzing data. The key to learning Pandas is to understand its data structures. In this video, we'll check two of Pandas' data structures. Let's get started. Activate your MyENV environment, then open up your Jupyter Notebook and your Data Analysis folder. Let's create a new Python notebook, Handling Data. Before we jump into Pandas' data structures, let's import Pandas first. It's usually imported with a shorter name, PD, so we don't need to type the whole name every time we call its methods and attributes. It's also best to place all your imported libraries in the first cell. Just make sure to run this cell right after importing a library. It's a good habit, too, to mark your cells with headings and descriptions. Now let's begin by creating Pandas' first data structure, series. It's the same as creating a list. We enclose the elements in square brackets. We just need to pass it to Pandas' series constructor to turn the list into a series. Let's run and display the output of this series, items. The list that we passed to the series constructor is now a column. Each element is paired with an index. Since we didn't assign a set of indices for the elements, Pandas generated the indices starting at 0. If you want to set the index, say the order IDs, we can do that by adding a parameter in the series constructor. Now we have the order IDs as the series index. The other widely used data structure of Pandas is the data frame. Data frames can be created from scratch or from an existing file. A great option to create a data frame manually is to just use a simple dictionary. Let's say we have a bookstore that sells office supplies and furniture. We want to have two columns, one for the names of the customers and one for the items they purchased. To organize this as a dictionary for pandas, we could do something like this, and then pass it to the pandas data frame constructor. Let's check the output. Items they purchased. To organize this as a dictionary for pandas, we could do something like this, and then pass it to the pandas data frame constructor.
Ah!
words to describe Vice President Leni Robredo? The answer? Ignorant, stupid. These two words again capture the essence of Vice President Leni Robredo when she urged the Duterte administration to back down or end the war against illegal drugs. She often talks without fully knowing the facts. As a result, she always stumbles and falls. Her latest kapalpakan was just 3 days ago when she made those remarks about the Duterte administration putting a stop to the war against illegal drugs. I published a YouTube video on my reaction to her statement. Yesterday, realizing the stupidity of her statement, Robredo made an about face. She didn't say, stop the war versus drugs, she said. She was just asking the Duterte administration to make adjustments, to tweak its strategies, to change what isn't working. Her ignorance and stupidity have put Vice President Robredo in a very embarrassing situation again. The truth is, she didn't know what she was talking about in the first place. In this instance, she didn't have a clue what she means by tweaking or making adjustments. If she really wants to help, why didn't she offer concrete solutions or suggestions? The war against illegal drugs cannot be fought without casualties. Drug dealers have no respect for the law. Pushers destroy innocent lives. In order to crush them, the government needs to
Nakita na ka sa consent mo? Nakita na ba ka sa consent? Ha? Wala. Wala. Basta gusto ni Chian.
kay Senator Franklin Green.
Ay!
Itong mahirap sa Manilawan, yung
Asuyin ko ito sa
hypocrites, yung nagkukunwari na napakalinis na wala silang nagawang ganito kalaking mga kasalanan sa ating inang bayan. Na hindi nila ninakawan ang taong bayan because ito po mga pera ay pera po ng taong bayan. Ha? Ito na yung inulat natin nung nakaraang biyernes tungkol yan sa Iloilo Convention Center. Wala lang. Parang gano'n, wala. Parang wala na siyang alam. Wala na siyang naririnig. No? Then, box. Isa si boxing. Ang ganyan ka na. Saludo po ako. Idol kita pagdating sa boxing. Kaya tigilan mo na yan. Tigil. Isa siguro sa problema natin sa bansang ito ay marami sa atin, lalo na po yung mga nasa cellphone. Muntik na po ako, to be honest, muntik na po akong sumurrender noong 2019. Kasi nga nakikita ko wala po akong panalo. No? At naawa ako sa dalawa kong anak. Isa siguro sa problema. Isa siguro sa
bugo lini, yawa ka bugo ka lini, wa kay utok agang kag presidente. Si Lini bugo kaya maglagot ko. Ano man kang Lini sila abi kawatan si Marcos. Kawatan man ang tanan nga mangawat man jud na tanan nga mudagan good di man na ako anan bugo man si Lini di ko ganahan niya nga dangan daghan og Lini awa biyay dili Lini man sila be
Si Kuya Lyle kay Kuan. Sa? Lyle ba? Lyle.
Lini siya me
Ini siya.
what the fuck
Ang hinayin ako, mamay ko sila.
Shanin man si Shanin kay Lini man si Shanin giatay
Ini
man
sa bitaw siya nin.
mga bugo man na sila bugo kay ilang presidente kabaw pa lang sila unsa ka bugo ilang presidente
Eh,
bugo bitaw kayo siya dili man jud siya karapat dapat good tanaw
kung nahay-hay pa kay fake ang diploma niya, Marcos.
kung flake man gani ang diploma ni Marcos kung si Leni mo apply dito sa Harvard ambot lang niya kasod ka take pa dili siguro siya at least kasod sa entrance exam
Sad sad ni mo yun.
bugo sa daning Leni tan-aw tog debate niya be presidential debate
Katawag itong usa ka TikTok kay duha na lang gali ka buok batas nga gihimo iya pa jud ikalimtan.